Of course, now we're talking about commodities market and looking at how much of the weather has had an impact on agri-commodities. Of course, there's still other concerns, especially post-Christmas gains and how they're affecting some of those commodities that we track, talking about wheat, corn and sugar. And there's also some story around cocoa. I'm hoping that Chiamaka Ajebu, who is an economic research analyst with Financial Derivatives Company, will be able to shed more light on this. Good morning to you, Chiamaka.
Good morning.
It's great to have you join us on the program this morning. Now, FTC, of course, coming back from the holiday, has sent in the report. Just give us an idea of what the key issues are in today's report.
Yes, so the key issues are the outlook for 2017 and what to expect as we move into the next year. And right now, for in the past week, commodity prices were static. But looking at December in general, we've seen price increases due to the demand pressure from the festive season. But then if you compare to December last year and the previous Christmases, you can see that the magnitude is not as high as the previous years. So yes, and then looking into 2017, we expect the prices of commodities to go down because now people have spent their money on the festive season, so they don't have, they can't effectively demand as much as they would in January, and producers have to let go of their inventory. So you see perishable goods seeing prices reduce first before other commodities and consumer goods.
Nigerians are going into 2017 with a lot on their plate.
Yes.
Now, on some of the national dailies, on the front page of some of the national dailies, we have that the federal government has raised import duties on consumables, including rice.
Yes.
So you're talking about already the outlook for 2017. You seem to be a little bit cheerful about what we're going to be expecting in 2017. But now with this piece of information, what's your outlook for the market, particularly for commodities like rice and wheat and corn in some cases that Nigeria imports?
Yes, so these importers of these commodities are going to have to capture their costs. So they're going to have to price above their average cost. So you see prices of these goods increase. But with that in mind, you see the importation of these goods decline because most importers will not be able to be in the market with these import duties. So you see domestic producers amping up their game to capture the market.
But have they gotten to the point of being self-sufficient to cater for the market? Because it's a very big market.
Yes, it is. It is. So no, they haven't. But at least this puts them in the right track. It's a bit dramatic to put duties of 70% of key commodities, but at the same time, the government feels that these commodities can be produced domestically. So that's what, because if you look at the industrial sector, you see in the news that the government is trying to revise the import duties on industrial goods down, trying to revise it downwards in order to help the industrial sector. So it's all part of their plan and policy to help the agricultural sector. It's a bit dramatic, but it's at least it's a path in the right direction.
So Chiamaka, in your report, you highlighted the fact that commodity prices have been static in the last week of 2016.
Yes.
Now, even with the expected price decline maybe coming in January, but that of course is neither here nor there, especially with the import duties coming up. Exactly. There's still the downside risk of higher energy prices, feeding cost push element in prices. Can this easily be managed?
Like I said, it could be, but at the same time, producers are going to have to price above their average cost. So if energy costs, like diesel now is up 60% year to date, and it's still maintaining that upward trajectory. So if we can't really clamp down on these rising costs, then producers are going to have to push these costs on their products. So that is a major downside risk to prices declining in 2017. And
there's another risk, of course, of the weather.
Yes, exactly.
Weather concerns and the search for post-Christmas gains. I see the weather too is also affecting you. It's kind of cold.
Yes,
but then is that also going to, it's also affecting global oil prices, global prices of wheat, I beg your pardon, corn and sugar. Would this be a domestic concern starting a new year?
Yes, of course it would be, but then it's expected around this period is when you see the harmattan and you see drier weather conditions. So we've been able to hedge against weather conditions in the past, so we should be able to do that now. But yes, it's still a major bone of contention, because it also affects the distribution of our goods, especially those at night. You know, the trailers and the trucks are going to find it difficult to move with the harsh conditions. So it's still a major thing that producers and consumers to watch for.
So give or take, as I mentioned, 2017, there's going to be a lot of issues talking about in 2017.
Yes.
And taking a look at the key issues as raised in your report today, and the weather concerns, and then the import duties that have actually come in place on consumables, including rice.
Yeah.
Are we likely to see consumers fighting back?
Yes, and Nigerians have been really resilient given the economic situation of Nigeria, because if you factor in the amount of devaluation that has taken place in the forex markets, the wiping off of their disposable income that has taken place, you would expect that, you know, the whole economy should shut down, but people are still going out to spend and to
not spend as much.
Not spend as much, obviously, but they are still making their contribution to the economy. So yes, 2017 is looking good. We expect consumers to maintain their resilience in 2017.
That's a big fight. Thank you so much for coming on the program.
Yeah.